Jai Hind everyone.
Jai sir.
Jain sir.
Who is ready? Harsh, Subodh? Okay, Subodh is ready. Harsh, you can be after Subodh. Harsh, keep time. We'll move with Subodh.
Yes, sir. 1 second. You can start.
So good morning to all. Today's my lecture topic is DRDO. DRDO is Defense Research and Development Organization. It is the organization of the armed forces which functions under the Ministry of Defense to bring means to work as a research and development wing. Uh, DRDO was set up in 1958, and till then DRDO gives a lot of missile systems as well as advanced weapon systems to the armed forces of India. Like if I talk about DRDO first launched its mission in 1960, Operation Indigo, Project Indigo, but it could not successfully completed it. When the uh,
Okay, there is some network issue. We'll wait for Subodh. Vaibhav, how is your preparation?
Jain sir.
Yes, Subodh, can you hear me?
hello,
Hello.
yes
Yes.
Yes
sir,
sir.
Okay, I think you're back. We'll continue with Subodh. Vaibhav will speak later.
Yes sir.
Okay, Subodh, continue.
yes sir. So good morning to all. Today's my lecture topic is DRDO. DRDO is uh, research and development wing of the armed forces, and it provides with the indigenous weapon systems to the armed forces. DRDO was set up in 1958. Until then, DRDO provided a number of defense systems to the armed forces. DRDO was set up in 1958, and DRDO launched its first mission in 1960, that is Project Indigo, but it could not get successful. The mission gets successful in 1980 when the DRDO set up the Integrated Guided Missile Program in 1980. Under that, DRDO produced Agni, Prithvi, Akash, and Nag missiles. And we today we all know that how these missiles are important. Now, if I talk about the DRDO's today's means the current position. So DRDO is performing very fantastically. Some of the projects DRDO over to DRDO is getting underway. Recently, DRDO launched the Agni 5 missile having the range of 7,000 kilometers. Recently, we have also conducted the test of Agni Prime missiles. So these are very important because the ICBM missiles are very important. That is the intercontinental ballistic missiles. The first Agni missile having the range of 700 to 800, 700 to 800 kilometers is very much important because we may face two front war in near future. So it is very important from that perspective. Not only that, some of the defense system, advanced radar systems has also been developed. Recently, DRDO is working on the artillery towed gun having the range of almost 50 kilometers. And if I talk about the Swati WLR system, locating radars, then Akash system is there. Then DRDO is also launching missiles, that is the short range surface to air missiles with Indian Army as well as with the Indian Navy. There are some of the developments which took place under DRDO. Like currently, DRDO is sharing the technology with the private companies so that they could not get much burden of the armed forces. Because we know that in today's era, we are moving forward, and our enemy nations are also developing at a faster rate. So because of that, there need to be some of the changes. DRDO is currently facing bureaucratization of DRDO facing a lot of challenges. Uh, like uh, uh, it is taking a lot of time for the delivery of the
Last
weapons.
30 seconds.
So, lastly, I want to conclude that, and according to my opinion, there need to be some changes in DRDO. Like recently, I give example like sharing of technologies with the private firms. It will less the burden on. It will mitigate the burden on DRDO, and developing of technologies should be set up under the different departments. Like Indian Armed Forces should have their different department under DRDO. Indian Navy should have different department, and Indian Air Force should have different department, so that they can
Time
get
up.
their weapons on time. Thank you.
Okay, so both little bit disturbance of network affected it. DRDO is a very important organization. We keep comparing it with ISRO. ISRO obviously has done outstandingly well, and that is the maybe an inferiority complex which we assume. DRDO per se was an equal organization, started with same zeal, and post independence, if something great have happened, these were the organizations like IITs we formed, and we had ISRO and DRDO. These are some of the premium establishments. Now, probably time has come when we are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat. So, in this phase, DRDO has to come up and stand up to the expectations. As on date, approximately 5,000 scientists are working in DRDO. But now, more and more intelligent people should get attracted, should serve the nation, and maybe a roadmap, a clear cut roadmap from the government side will help DRDO to come up to the standard. Let's see how it moves ahead. Subodh, maybe networks disturbance was a initial hiccup, but good lecturate. This is important topic. One should know these organizations inside out from the competitive exam point of view, especially SSD, because DRDO is one organization where uh, when you are preparing for defense forces, this is one aligned organization, very very important one. What are the new projects coming up? Any new equipment which is being launched indigenously? So DRDO comes into play. That's why it is important. Okay, Harshvardhan, ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so both keep time.
Yes, sir. You can go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Today's topic of my lecture is India-Israel relations. If we talk about the history, both of the countries have a complex history between each other. India got its independence in the year 1947, and in the next year, Israel got its independence. Right after the independence, both the countries were distant from each other because of two major reasons. The first is that Indian leaders thought that Israel, the Palestine line, which was a disputed line, was belonged to the Arab country, to the Arab population, and India must not interfere between them. And the second reason that India was distant was because India was a great oil importer from the Arab countries, and there was a constant conflict between the Arab countries and Israeli people. So India decided to be aligned with Arab nations. But after the year 1993, both the countries started to form diplomatic relations with each other. It was the it was the year 1999 during the Kargil War, where Israel stood up for the first time to support India and provided India with arms and ammunition during the Kargil war. Also, Israel also provided many laser systems which were used by the Indian Air Force to conduct the operations of its Sagar. And even after that, Israel was among the countries who did not criticize India and supported India during the 1998 Pokhran test done. Also, it supported India during the Bhuj earthquake by providing humanitarian aid, and also in the during the 26/11 attack, Israel also helped India by providing a team of investigation, a team of officials to investigate the case of 26/11. If we talk about the uh, defense cooperation between both the countries, India has been constantly buying various defense systems and radar system from Israel. And also, both of the countries have been jointly developing various defense systems. One of the prominent defense system is the Barak 8 missile system, which both the countries have jointly developed. Apart from this, Israel has also bought thousands of assault rifles from Israel for the use of special forces.
Last 30
One
seconds.
uh, and also we can say that Indian farmers are also dependent on Israel's drip irrigation system, which have helped them in various states like Punjab, Haryana, Maharashtra, Rajasthan. Now, as of now, as Israel is in a state of war, the relations and trade between both the countries will be affected a lot. I think that India must stay on the side of Israel because many of the
Time up.
ties, be it economic, agriculture, or defense system, India and Israel have a good tie. So I think that is India should be in the support of Israel. Thank you.
Okay, Harshwardhan, a relevant topic. Nowadays, it is very much in public domain what is happening, who are at fault. If we see purely from the military point of view, we generally get aligned with Israel. But Israel as a nation has got some flaws also. It is a unicameral system where probably it has only one watchdog, that is judiciary. And even if that is removed, and there was recent attempt to reform judiciary of Israel, then it may become a dictator country in different sense. It looks like a democratic country, but it has got limitations. Like if we compare it with India, India has a constitution, Israel doesn't have a constitution. Israel had bicameral system like Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. If there is any rule or regulation has to come in, it has to come in after these two houses pass, and then president is also there. Thereafter, we have got Supreme Court. So this is something which can restrain each other from doing any wrong thing. But in Israel, it is just prime minister and the sitting government. So what happens? The judiciary, which is the only factor which can be really in the shoes of watchdog. So it may now with this reform which is coming up. So that is how dispute is there. If Israel surrounded by all Arab countries, if we see into the deeper history, Israel has got rights, and then recent history, Arab countries have rights. But today, if hospitals are targeted, then somewhere some kind of international intervention is required because you cannot kill innocent people by any justification. So these are the larger issues. But yes, from your lecturate point of view, whatever Harshvardhan spoke, that is relevant, and we should speak from the military alliance point of view. Biggest partner, one of the most important partner for us as a defense uh, consolidation is concerned, Israel is a key player. A lot of systems are from Israel. Israel has been standing up with us, whether it was Kargil war or recent whatever terrorism related activities. Israel has always been forthcoming to support us. So, from that perspective, we have to hold Israel as closer compared to Palestine. Palestine has got some issues. We can negotiate or work as a intervening mediators or with the help of other world institutions and US and other countries. I think we can play a big role. India has got big role. The way Russia and Ukraine were looking up to us, similar thing is now, and that opportunity may come up to us to mediate. Let's see how things go up. Okay, good, Harshvardhan. Topic is very important. Keep updating yourself, all of you who are heading for SSB, because these are the obvious things where you are expected or will be required to talk in interview, lecturate, or group discussion. Somewhere it will crop up. Okay, who is next? Vaibhav, and then Shraddha. So we'll go with Shraddha first, then Vaibhav. Shraddha, keep time.
Okay, so you may
Can I
start.
start? Okay. So good morning everyone. My today's lecture topic is impact of phone and social media. So, introduction to social media, it is a collection of websites, applications, and other platforms that enable us to share or create content and also help us to participate in social networking. So, I divided this in three types: advantages of social media, disadvantages of social media, and lastly, conclusion. So, first of all, let's discuss about advantages. So, education. Recently, we have passed from COVID-19, in which our schools and colleges were not open. At that time, students were learning through online platforms. So, next is creativity. Creativity, it means we can do advertisement of any product or any institute by the social media. And communication. In the past year, there was not a good communication. You communicate with the use of the letters, but now it is easily available to communicate with social media or phone. Business, just like for example, in there is a farmer in the village. He used to buy the vegetables by social media and all. He will promote his business. So let's come on the disadvantages of it. Disadvantages is overuse. Before some years, children used to play the ground games, but recently they are uh, they are not available on the ground. They used to play with the phone games and all. Effect on teenagers. Teenagers are now not focusing on academics more. They are focusing on social media and all. Fake news. Because of fake news, some dange and all are faced in India. So uh, let's discuss about cyberbullying. Cyberbullying, it means cheating on social media by using a fake account and all. Cyberbullying cases are mainly used with the girls. That boys make fake account on social media and they tease her on the social media. So lastly, disadvantages, it may cause sleep issues because the generally social media are used by the
Last
our
30 seconds.
young generation, and they sleep at late night and do not wake up early. Because of that, they can face health issues. So lastly, I want to conclude that India has one of the largest and fastest growing presence on various social media. And in my mother tongue, Marathi, there is one quote that "Achi Tithi Mati." It means excess of anything is dangerous, and hence we should avoid the social
Vaibhav.
media. People should not let social media addiction hamper their productivity. Thank you.
Good, Shraddha. Well attempted lecture. When you use some kind of quote, any language, that is also one way of putting it more interesting. Social media is a very common topic. It is concerned with every one of us, and in competitive exams, it may have somewhere its own standing, whether it is in group discussion, directly or indirectly. These are the important topics because common points are there which are society concerned. When we talk at macro level, at international scenario, there is one domain coming up. One is security, second is economy, and third is now social media. See the impact at international level, how social media can play a role. Security means like US is a powerful nation, Israel is also militarily powerful nation. Second is economy. China and US are now biggest trade owners, and India is also there in that league. But now social media is something which has no boundaries, which is not visible so easily. You don't know the owners. At times you don't know the intentions also. So this is how this important segment is going to affect individuals, societies, nations, and entire planet. So this is the magnitude with which it is going to come to us. We need to be awake. We need to develop that wisdom. How we will tackle. Firstly, it is for our use, social media, but is it crossing those limits and we get used? This is very interesting to watch in coming years. Shraddha, good. You tried to organize your lecture. More confidence, more practice. It will become more finer. Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Who is next? Vaibhav. Yes. Shraddha, keep time. Then
Yes, sir.
Sanjeevani can
You
begin.
can start.
Good morning, everyone. In July 2023, we witnessed an increase in retail inflation reaching 7.44%, and it create Goldilocks scenario, which is an ideal state for economy. And this Goldilocks economy has steady growth. So, gentlemen, my today's topic is inflation. So, what is inflation? Inflation refers to the rise in price of most goods and services of our daily or common use, such as food, clothing, housing, and transport, consumes, etc. Then, inflation is an indicative of a decrease in purchasing power of a country's currency, and it leads to the deacceleration in economic growth also. However, the moderate level inflation is required in economy to ensure production is promoted. So coming to who measures inflation in India, there is a central government authority, which is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, who measures inflation. So basically, there are two types of indices in which inflation is measured. Firstly is WPI and second is CPI. WPI means wholesale price index, in which WPI is used to measure average change in price of goods in the bulk of quantity by seller, and in CPI, which is consumer price index, it calculates the difference in price of commodities and services such as food, medical care, education, electronics, etc., which Indian consumers buy for use. Then coming to what are the types of inflation? There are so many types of inflations, but two most important is first one is demand pull inflation, and second is cost push inflation. Coming to first demand pull inflation, when our economy grows, there is increase in supply of money. So increase in supply of money leads to when we have money, we spend more. If we spend more, then shortage of supply gets, and after shortage there is increase in demand, and increasing demand means price will rise. So this is demand pull inflation, and there are causes of demand pull inflation, that is growth in black money, increase in population, and also increase in money supply. Coming to second, that is cost push inflation. This is it is not depend upon demand and supply, but price rise due to the rise in price of production. So we call it as a cost push inflation, and it causes due to high wage rate, high profit margins, high taxes, and also
Last
fall
30
in
seconds.
availability of goods. So what are in what ways we can control inflation? Firstly, there is monetary policy of RBI and fiscal policy of government, in which they can control the supply of money in our economy. Given the concern about rising inflation, the government and RBI need to work together to manage few things and stabilize food chain efficiency and improve supply chain. Thank you.
Time.
Very good, Vaibhav. Not an easy topic to speak on because this is purely a domain where economics related education is required. So, if science student is asked to speak on such topic, it is not easy. A lot of terminologies and inflation in a broader sense, one can understand it is cost related thing. But to speak on it in lecture, it is not easy. You have covered it very well in very simple language. Good lecturate. Inflation, what Weber was saying, how to control, what exactly it is. We have, in a broader sense, Reserve Bank of India, which is bankers' bank, which is a regulating bank. And then you see other nationalized banks. Today it is almost 12 banks, SBI, Bank of Baroda, Punjab National Bank, and so on. So you must be in day-to-day life, must be watching. There is some dearness allowance which is being announced by the government, central government, and then respective state governments. This dearness allowance is also linked with inflation. If the inflation is high, the DA increases for the employees. Common people are generally aware of DA. Second comes repo rate. Every 3 months, the RBI governor comes on media, announces the repo rate. This is how the RBI lends money at what rate, whether it is to be changed, to bring down or go up. So this interest rate further affects the market related credit system where people are taking loan from banks. So RBI's this repo rate also has what consequences in the economy. But then if you see how beautiful this system is, generally these people are taking so much of pain to study world economy, to control our economy. There are recent examples of 2008. There was a lot of slowdown in world economy, then recession, we generally call it recession. Of late in COVID, we witnessed another big trouble, but somehow the India has survived comfortably. You see, RBI has tremendously participated, uh, applied themselves well in coordination with government, because RBI is an independent body. On paper it is an institution which has got its own role, and it has to guide entire economy. So RBI governor, you see, whenever you hear him, it is all policy and regulations. Some of the banks, especially cooperative banks, when they come hard on them because of some wrong practices. So these all things are affecting us, and Vaibhav has covered it very well. These topics are complex, but you can at least, as a common citizen, uh, general student, can touch upon small issues like inflation is one. Then what is repo rate, what is this banking system, what is RBI structure, what RBI governor does. So small pieces of knowledge will see that knowledge building up at your back of mind, and your concepts will be quite clear. As a citizen also, we are it is good to know all these small and basic things. Good. I'm very glad. Vaibhav has covered it very well. It is not easy topic. Okay. Who is there now? Sanjeevani. Ganesh, after a long time,
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
you will be speaking today.
Yes, sir. I'll be speaking today.
Okay, so we'll go ahead with Sanjeevani first. Vaibhav, keep time, and then Ganesh will be, I think, last.
You can start now.
Good morning to everyone. Today my lecture topic is Startup India. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is boost the youth of nation and to make India in developed nation. In another step to get up the nation with new josh and bring the confidence among people for start up their business. Modi on 69th Independence Day announced the slogan of Startup India and Stand Up India. These steps aim to provide easy loans and facility to new entrepreneurs, especially in village, which face most of the problems in starting business. This Startup India initiative also aims to promote entrepreneurships among SC, ST, and women communities. This scheme has encouraged entrepreneurs to come up their startup plans. India ranked third globally in the startup industry with 4,200 registered startups. The government has set up the new Anchor across country on public-private partnership mode. As per the Niti Aayog seat, 17 establishment in a combination center has been shortlisted from the scale up for support. The Startup India has been operationally from April 1st 2016. The fund of 10,000 crore rupees for startup by Small Industry Development Bank of India has been a major attraction for the winners. The GST bill has greatly improved the growth rate of startup in country. So lastly, I want to conclude that the company is good startup for start for for startup industry in India, but the implementation of the scheme has not been proper. The development being made with time will bring the industry to its goal. The decreases corruption, taxes, and increased flexibility will surely help young entrepreneurship make successfully as their business. Thank you.
Okay, Sanjivani, again, economy related topic. Startup India has to be seen from different dimensions. Atmanirbhar Bharat. If you see, when we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, how we are going to achieve this mission. So this is one thing, that we cannot provide everyone a job. Let's have a culture of job creators. So who can create job? Entrepreneurship. People can be promoted to think that they can also run businesses, they can also open businesses, they can dare to do something which a normal citizen will not come up unless and until there is a ecosystem, there is support from government, there is a healthy culture in country, there is less red tapeism, easy clearances. So this is how things are changing of late. Earlier it used to be a big problem to think of opening business. So many certifications, so many problems. Fund was a, okay, Vaibhav, so fund was a issue, and all those things now becoming little easy. The today's youth can think of some of the schemes utilization, can dare to do something like mudra loan, government's another supporting system. A fresher can think of taking loan up to 10 lakh, depending upon his record also or her record, and can start something below 10 lakh. This Startup India, any project which has got, or entrepreneurship has got vintage of 5 years or more, can think of seeking assistance, big assistance from the banks and the government for Startup India related boost. Startup India means, in a way, we are promoting a lot of manufacturing service sectors, and then only we can really achieve the aim of Atmanirbhar Bharat, more export and less import. That is the ultimate mission or the aim, because our neighbor country China could do it much early, and we are little late on that. We have population, enough population to experiment many things. Why to import so much when our own people are looking for job, they can be effectively engaged. So that ecosystem is setting up. So these are the projects like Startup India, where one person can dare to do bigger plant, and things can change. He can be a job creator actually. Okay, Sanjeevani, good. Lecturate delivered well. It was systematic. Flow was good. Okay. Now Ganesh.
Yes, sir.
Ganesh can go on. Sanjeevani, keep time.
You can start.
Okay. So the topic for my today's lecture is medical tourism. I would be speaking on the preamble, like what the term means and where India stands, what government has done, what are the important parameters, and lastly, my opinion. So, medical tourism refers to traveling to another location to receive medical treatment. It also refers to people within the country migrating from one state to another for medical treatment, and also the foreigners or the people from abroad traveling to a country for medical treatment. Now, India with allopathy and hospitals also have Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathy, which is Ayush, which is also increasing very well in India. Mainly, the government has taken some important steps. Like in 2006, the board was created, National Accreditation Board for Hospitals and Healthcare. And in India now we have 513 NABH accredited hospitals. Then in India we also have Joint Commission on International Accredited Hospitals, which are 45. So these things attract foreigners to come in India. With this medical in the medical tourism index, now India stands at the 10th position. Chennai is the healthcare capital of India, and people we have seen people from Oman, Pak, Afghanistan, Kenya, and Bangladesh are coming into India for healthcare. Now there are some prominent parameters to medical tourism. Why foreigners are coming in India? First is we have well and educated doctors, we have affordability, we have world class infrastructure, and our pharma sector is also at boom. So if we talk about the world-class infrastructure, in India we have world-class specialty in ortho, in cardiac or plastic surgery. Let's talk about affordability. If you compare the surgery for angioplasty, it takes about 30,000 US dollars in US. And if you compare it with India, it takes only 4,000 US dollars. So you can see the affordability also there. With that, government has now introduced MVT, medical value tourism. In India, hospitality as a package of stress relieving rejuvenation therapies are given. India has now e-medical visas for 156 countries. International patients nowadays, especially from Africa, travel to India. Like we have seen in some of the institutes, Max Institute in Delhi has stated that they have recorded 20% revenue generated from international patients. So international patients are coming to India due to these three prominent parameters. Now, if we talk about statistics, India has overall total 19 AIMS. Total government hospitals has reached to around 19,000. And as per WHO rating, doctor to patient ratio is also increased in
Last
India.
30 seconds.
It is 1 is to 834. So, in my opinion, now I think that the government should work on to make India as a brand in medical tourism. Ecosystem for medical should be developed, and affordability of healthcare attacks medical tourism. We know it, but without world-class infrastructure, we cannot do it. And affordability can't come on the sake of health risks. So both has to be balanced. And in my opinion, I would like to state that India might be the last place on earth where you'll expect to find cheap healthcare with world-class infrastructure, and India will grow as a prominent brand in medical tourism in the world. Thank you.
Yes, Ganesh, medical tourism, very important, I think, strategic subject now. We can really look forward for generating revenue, brand establishment, what Ganesh is advocating. Yes, India has got enough wherewithal. We have population, we have got enough number of doctors coming up, so many medical colleges coming up. Even in medical colleges, there are NRI seats. Even the medical tourism can start from that point. When Ukraine got into war, and we learned that this war zone had 18,000 students approximately, and that was a big shock for many people that so many students are sitting abroad, and most of them were medical students. So if India plans it well, we can also attract so many students in medical field, engineering field. But let's talk about medical field. World requires, especially after COVID-19, world requires best of the healthcare system, and in that the doctor has got key role. You can bring robots tomorrow. We can have some of the surgeries and some of the medical treatments with the help of artificial intelligence enabled or robotic science, but the human behind these machines or the human to human touch is never going to end. And in times to come, probably the psychologist, these will be the people who are required in more in number. So this is how this medical tourism will have so much of role to play and potential for India, that we can really tap it. Some of the hospitals are doing good, they are world recognized, our doctors are world recognized. India is becoming a great destination for medical treatment, affordable medical treatment. Insurance is aligned with this medical field, that is also having big potential in times to come. So when we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, firstly getting self-reliant and thereafter doing the service in the entire world or be useful for others. When it comes to export and manufacturing sector, in this field it is the people who will be attracted towards our nation for seeking the services, and medical services will be rated at very high pedestal, because that is something which is incomparable with anything else. It is not uh, materialistic thing, it is the life. So good, Ganesh, after a long time you delivered a good lecture, and these all interesting topics. It is great to update our knowledge. It is from the competitive exam point of view, you should be updated on these subjects, have enough data. All of a sudden you can speak on such topics. Some of them are complex, requires little bit practice. Some of them will become easy as the time passes. Anything else? So we will call it a day, and let's continue our journey of updating ourselves, practicing communication skills, and confidence building. Okay, have a good time. Bye. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind, sir.